Yeah. Is my screen
Ashok, is there
visible?
any interconnection between CLI and S3 bucket, Ashok?
See, AWS CLI is a command line interface. If you have AWS CLI on your system, on your instance, you can do anything with the AWS account, with your AWS account, because you are giving access to all your AWS services with the AWS CLI, so that you will be able to create S3 buckets. You can make configure. You have to configure first your account details in the AWS CLI. After that, you can do anything with AWS CLI configurations and everything. You can go further also. Means whatever you are the services present in the AWS services, we can use everything in a programmatic way, in a scripting way, using the AWS CLI. That way it works out. You can go through the AWS CLI, because that is right now we will just go through it right now. Okay, go to the instance, Ashok. Okay, open it in Putty.
Okay.
Okay. Make it a large screen so that it's visible for all. Now type AWS S3. AWS S3 LS. See, it is asking us to first configure your AWS credentials. Why it is asking? Because it is saying that if you want to use this terminal, it doesn't know which exactly S3 bucket, which exact credentials of S3 bucket, which accounts S3 bucket you want to access, which one you want to see. For that, we have to configure. First, we have to configure the AWS account. Means your account credentials should be provided to this instance, so that it is able to access the buckets which has been created by that account in that AWS account. So go to the AWS console. Click on the side on Puneet Kumar. Go to security credentials. See, going forward, if you want to use means this AWS configurations, we will be creating an access key and its a secret key password. This will be used. This will be used if you want to uh, do anything on your AWS account, or any new instances has to be created by from your instance to other thing. If you want SSH, we need to configure the AWS credentials. We have to configure it. So for that, we need an access key and its secret key, so that if you are logged into with these credentials only, you will be able to access whatever we are doing it from the AWS means from the command line, whatever we are doing from the terminals. So that has to be do, if it has to do anything, it has to have this credentials authority to do anything on your account. So go down. We will be creating the access key for the first time. You will be not having that. Go down. See, there is a access key. If you want to read about this, you can go and learn more. You can get an article, you can read it. It is a very good thing. You can have the knowledge, because maximum there will not be any questions on the access key, but you should have the knowledge what exactly access key, what exactly the power gives it when you are using this access key and its credentials. This, because if you are using this access key, has been there with anyone, with any other person, other than your AWS, means whatever you are using, this credentials will be provided to any other person. They will be able to access your account without doing anything with their powers. With this, you are giving full power to your terminal, that you can do anything on my instance, on my AWS account. Create access key. So it's saying that, see, root user keys are not recommended, but still we want to create one. So I need a one. Now there is a download.csv file. Download it because this will be useful, because after once you are come and done, clicked on it, it will not work out. Now go to your terminal. Now type AWS configure what it has been asked. Now see, it is asking the access key ID. First go in the there and copy it. No, you can do it from there also for the first time. Anyways, it is there. Once you click
Okay.
on the done, it will not be showing that.
What do I do here, Ashok? I should copy that file.
You can, no, not the copy, just go there.
Yeah, to the terminal, Ashok.
No, to the console. Go to the console.
Okay. Just
Console.
okay.
You came back. Okay. Now open the CSV file. Open the CSV file. The file which you have downloaded, open it.
CSV, okay. Excel. Okay.
See, copy that access key. No, copy that. No, it's, see, the thing is that the CSV file will not give, these are two separate keys. There are two separate access keys, a separate key, separate column, secret access keys in separate column. They are in two separate columns. Click on Control Z. Again click on Control Z. Just copy it from the top. Just go to the terminal and just click right. Just right click on it. Terminal. Enter. Now same goes for the secret key. Go there and do it. It is in the Excel file. It's not there.
Left,
It's
left,
not
left.
there. The second row.
Oh, yes.
Open. See, the default region is that you are in which region you are in. You are in North Virginia, you can give US East one. Or if you are in Northwest, you can use US West one. So give US East one.
I should type it manually.
Yes, manually you have to type it. If you don't want, you can just press enter. It will take normal default region, whatever it has been there. US East -1. US East -1. Enter. And the default output format will be JSON file. Just keep it out none only. Just enter it. Now whatever you have done, now you have given full credentials. Now if you want to check it out, now click on the same AWS S3LS.
AWS S3LS.
Yes. So I think you are already having a bucket.
Yes, Ashok.
So now it's showing it to you. Now you have given full permissions to this, because that you can with this instance we will be able to do anything in your AWS account. Anything. That is the AWS configure. That is the reason we use it, because if you want to do anything from this terminal, from this command line interface, so that we can have to work it out. Now click on AWS version, AWS -version. See, the AWS CLI is already installed for you. It is already there. Now, we will do one thing. Click AWS S3 LS, the same command line, space S3 colon / 2 times. I said colon. /2 / write the PUNB. What is your bucket name?
Yes, PONB only.
Yes, write it. Enter. See, it is showing what are the files you have kept it there inside.
Okay.
Now we will do one thing. Create a file here. Something, anything you want to create that file. Write something in it. Now we will be copying this file from your instance directly to the S3 bucket. Now we will use the command cp. Now write AWS S3 cp space dot / the file name space S3, the full the bucket S3 colon / pub S3 colon, there is no space between S3 and the colon. Write your bucket name, Punit. What is the bucket you have created?
No. Should I give space?
In the top line, what you have done? You are able to see the line, right? What you have done in the top line exactly before this command. See, the file got uploaded. Now click the AWS S3 LS command again. Just use the, we have to see whether the file is got uploaded or not. Just click on the up arrow again 2-3 times. Again, stop, just enter. Down arrow, enter. See, before that you have given only one file. Now from here you have directly upload the file to this S3 bucket. Directly you have done it.
Okay.
Now I don't want to have that file. I want to remove it. AWS S3, come on, remove the file. I don't want to have that file from my bucket. No, RM minus R, I didn't say that. Just remove the dot bucket from that. We are deleting it from the S3 directly. So from the S3, RM space S3. No, you are already there. You are already there in the bucket only. You are there. So go to the bucket PUNB and after give a slash and enter the file name which you want to delete it.
Okay.
Enter. Now you do the S3 LS again.
AWS S3 LS.
Sorry.
If you do that, it will show only the bucket name. S3 LS means whatever the buckets you have created, it will be showing that one. It will not show anything. If you want to see what exactly the files present in the bucket, you after ls you have to mention the bucket details also.
No, AWS S3 LS S3.
S3 colon. Got
I
deleted.
want to I want to delete all the files recursively. Means whatever the files are present in the file, I want to delete everything. So use the same AWS S3 RM S3 bucket name.
Okay.
Go there. I will tell you the command. Go there. Type it.
S3 RM, S3 Ashok. After that, bucket name.
You don't have to mention the file name. If you have multiple files, just remove that slash space hyphen recursive. See, now it has been deleted the Kubernetes.txt also, whatever it has been there before on your file.
Yes, Ashok.
So this is the way we are using the AWS, whatever we have done, whatever we are working on it, whatever we are taking it. And if you want to delete the directly the what we say totally the bucket, you can delete it. You just have to use RB. You can delete it. AWS S3 RB, just S3 the bucket name.
RB.
RB RB and mention the S3.py whatever the details are there. See, you have removed the bucket. Now if you do the S3ls, you will not be able to get that bucket name. We can create the bucket from here also, but sometimes it takes try. Well, let's try. I'm not sure whether it will work it
Ashok,
out.
RB means remove bucket, Ashok.
Yes, remove bucket. Now if you try AWS S3 and MB make bucket and type some name, I think it will not work out for here because it will throw some regional error. MB S3 give some unique name. S3 hyphen say S3 colon same one, and after that the bucket name some unique. Give your PUNB only because this bucket is just deleted, so it is still unique.
Saying invalid argument type.
Because you have not given the slash. Because see guys, when you are practicing it, see what exactly the commands you are typing it. Just don't blindly type it, because when I am using the command, why exactly I'm using it, because that is the way you have to see. When you are typing the commands, you are typing it from the past last I think 8 to 9 commands you have typed. S3 colon slash slash pnb. Why? Because we are going to the S3, from there we are seeing the bucket name, or maybe in which bucket we are. That is the way you have to look into it. Don't blindly just I'm saying it, you don't have to follow. You have to check it out how exactly the command is looking on it, how exactly we are writing the command. We have to see that. That's the way you will be able to practice more. See, MB is the make bucket, LS is that to show the list of the buckets you have, RM is to remove the files present in the bucket. And if I want to remove the file from the bucket, I have to go inside the bucket and then remove the file. I will not be able to remove the file directly from the bucket, right? How I have to do? I have to go inside the bucket first. Then I will be able to. So that's the reason I'm going to the S3. And after that, I'm giving the bucket name. And after that, the file which I have to remove. Now try. Enter. I think it will throw error, regional error.
No,
Oh,
Ashok.
for you it has done. Okay, that's very good.
Why will it throw error, Ashok? Like for regional thing?
For sometimes means if you are not in the same region, if your instance is not actually in the same availability zone, or maybe some other you are given US East one, right? For me, I was trying from the different region. It was getting throwing me error yesterday, because when I was doing for some other client, it was throwing me error, but we resolved it in another way. So sometimes it throws. See, now we have created a bucket, and the same thing goes on. Now, if you go back to your console, you will be seeing all the things, whatever the bucket name and everything.
S3, Ashok.
Yes. Yesterday only we have the bucket, right? Simple storage service. See the date, at what time it got created.
853.
Now, as I said, this is the way we actually use the AWS is 3. If you want to do from the whatever you want to upload the files, whatever you want to move the files, delete the files, you want to do anything. If you have just AWS CLI, you will be doing everything with it. Do you guys have any question? Are you able to understand?
Ashok, like I'll upload a file in this PNB bucket, Ashok. Please teach me like how to make it public once, Ashok.
Yeah, upload it. Okay, now first go to the bucket first. Okay, first go to the properties. Bucket versioning edit disabled. Okay, just go little down. I just want to see something. There you have access. Okay, go to the permissions. See here, block all public access. You have kept it as off.
Off.
Edit that one. See, if you have blocked, means if you have click on this one, it is a private, means no one will be able to access this bucket other than you, other than the account which has been using this bucket. No one. So it is done. Save changes. It's the same thing. Anyways, you have already blocked it. That's fine. Just confirm it. Okay. Now go to the buckets. Go to the buckets. There will be a block public account block public access setting for this account. Just click on that one on the left side. On the left side. Left side.
Okay,
On
got
your
it.
left side.
Got it.
It's the same thing. Okay, that's fine. It's off only. It's off. That's fine. Go to the bucket now.
Left touch. No, top left. Yes.
And go to the PUNB. Inside. Click on the
Action.
Select the Kubernetes.txt. Now go to actions. There will be make public. I think you would have okay. Make public using
Make
ACL.
public using ACL.
It's showing, Ashok. Yesterday it wasn't showing this.
Because yesterday you would have not made it active. And I think what you have done is means go to the PUNB. I will show you one thing. I think when you are doing it, the ACL will be disabled for you.
Okay.
Open the PUNB. Go to the access points, or maybe to the management, I think.
No, it is in the PUNB down object properties permissions.
Access points, okay, here.
Okay, go to management. The ACL network would have been disabled for you. That's the reason not showing. Permissions. Permissions. Come down. Come down. Come down. Come down. Totally down. See this one. Go to the access control list. Edit. Come down. Okay, leave it. Let's go and create a new bucket. I will show you there itself. It's a waste of time. Create a bucket again. Just click on it. I will just mention to them. Now come down. See, if you see the object ownership, see, this is the point where if the ACLs is disabled, if it is
Okay.
disabled, it will not show make public there. If it is
Okay.
enabled, then only it will show it to you. That's the main difference. And along with it, the public access.
Got it, Ashok. I have disabled the ACLS, Ashok. So only it
While
will show.
giving here, like we need to give ACL enabled, Ashok.
Yes, if you want to make it active and if you want to access the other access from the internet and if you want to check it out, we have to give.
And bucket versioning is also disabled here. We need to
Disabled.
make it enabled. Okay.
Yeah, you have to make it. For that, you have to make it enabled.
Okay. Okay. Got it, Ashok. Should I create a new bucket?
No, you can do it anything you want. Now you have the option. It's up to you.
Okay.
Now, if you want, you can delete the bucket also. Let me share my screen. So, let me know once you guys are able to see it.
Yes, Ashok.
So, this is the AWS CLI we have done just now. Whatever we have done, whatever we have actually worked on it. So, now tell me what is the RB command helps you to delete an empty bucket? How will you delete a bucket that has multiple files and folders in it?
RB command is recursive, Ashok.
Recursive. RB is for complete bucket, Ashok. Inside the file, we use colon recursive at the end.
No, that's RM. If you want to remove the files from the bucket, we're using RM recursive. That recursive will be using in the last. We are directly removing the bucket and everything in it in a single go. What is the command?
It is first option, Ashok.
One,
AWS
Ashok.
S3 RB recursive and the file name.
No, it's not. Do one thing. Puneet, try to create 3-4 files in your bucket and give this command and see. Or maybe first give this command from your side only and then this command and then this command. Share your screen and do that. I'm going to share you the commands.
Like multiple buckets means we need to choose, Ashok, over there.
No, not multiple buckets. In a single bucket, if I want to delete all the files present in it along with the bucket.
Ashok, I'll do it through S3 bucket only, Ashok. Creating the files because I stopped my instance.
Oh, you have stopped it. And you terminated it also.
Yes, Ashok. You started sharing your screen, so I terminated the instance.
See guys, if you have time, try it. The answer is this one. AWS S3. Wait a minute. I'm not sharing the screen. The answer is SB minus a force S3 bucket name because in forcefully we are deleting the bucket and along the files in it. This is the right answer. If you have time, create a bucket, create multiple files in it and try this command and you will be able to understand. If you have still doubts, try this command with this one and see the error, and after that try this one and see it, and after that try this one also. If you have time, go through it.
Ashok, it is not that like we need to empty the bucket first and delete the bucket later. There is nothing like that, is it, Ashok?
See, if you don't feel that the bucket is not important for you and there is no important files in it, you can do that. But
Suppose it contains like n number of files, we can delete the bucket directly.
yes, that is the reason, and that's for the reason it is saying. but the RB helps you to delete only the empty bucket. But if you have a multiple files or anything in it, folders, anything, if you want to delete it forcefully, whatever maybe the bucket, I don't care inside it. I don't need the bucket at all. So then this is the command you want to do it. Or if you want to do first delete all the files, then you have to use AWS RM bucket name. After that, it will be recursive. Here the recursive comes, not in front. That RM S3 bucket name, then recursive. Any questions, guys?
Ashok, AWS CLI, we don't have to install any separate thing for that CLI thing. I didn't install anything, Ashok.
Yes, for the Amazon Linux image, what you have done, it automatically, once you have configured it, it has taken the AWS CLI. But for Ubuntu and everything, it will not. You have to install that.
Okay.
Let me show
Like,
you.
what is the command we need to give, Ashok, over there?
Let me show you.
Only for Amazon Linux, it will take direct CLI.
Yeah, because it's AWS, right? So it's automatically considered that, okay, the AWS you are configuring it. So I'm considering that you need this credentials.
I think this will not work, Ashok. I think so. There is a
Now I'm gonna install.
Ashok. When I tried this thing, same thing happened to me, Ashok.
What you have given.
Same. Whatever you got error, like it was not displaying over there login details.
Sometimes when it is taking time, we are trying it, it takes that error. So you just have to again close it and try it again.
We don't need to create again new instance, Ashok, for this.
No, you don't have to. You just have to refresh it and take the credentials and just log in again.
Done.
Now see, now I'm gonna give AWS version. So see, this is the command. It will show you to install AWS CLI. If I do this, now it is there. Before that, it was not there. Now, if I type AWS S3LS, it will not show anything because it will ask me to configure the credentials. That's it. The command is sudo apt install AWS CLI. And if you want to see AWS S3 commands more, you can give AWS S3 help, it will show you everything. See, what are the commands, what exactly you do each command. There are many more commands like resign, sync, uh, RB, website. These many commands are there. You AWS S3 help and you will be able to get everything. So this is about S3 and generating the policies and everything. We'll do after some more time. It's not right now. So do you have any questions on this? Now I think you will be able to understand the CP and everything when you are going to try create the SH file.
Ashok, for Amazon, like it is CLI. Like for Ubuntu, there is no separate command line thing, Ashok.
We are doing it right here only. See, for everything, if you want to do any command line interface with your AWS, you have to use AWS CLI. Anything for that is the reason we use AWS CLI command line interface. This is the meaning is AWS CLI is command line interface. AWS command line interface for anything, for Amazon, for Amazon Linux, or maybe for the Red Hat, for Ubuntu, whatever maybe. If you want to connect with your AWS account, if you want to use all the services and want to do anything on your account, and you want to give some instructions to your AWS account, what needs to be done, how many instances can be created with you with this AWS CLI, you can do that.
We can create instance also from CLI, Ashok.
Yes, you can create the VPC also, you can create the security groups also. But I am not going further because you are still in the starting phase. If I go today, it will be a hectic for you only. Maybe at some time going further, then we will be able to do that. Because whatever you are using, the Docker, the Kubernetes, the Terraform, all has to have this AWS CLI. Because once you have in the system the AWS CLI is there, then only you will be able to give your credentials, give your uh, reminders to the system that what needs to be done along with this AWS configure. Any doubts, guys? Any questions you have? Are you able to understand what exactly we are talking about?
Yes, Ashok.
Okay, answer this question. Let's see. Suppose that you work in an e-commerce company which keeps records of multiple products, more than 1,000 in the S3 bucket record. The files have the following structure for file name, category product ID.csv. Now you have to analyze the records associated with the electronics category only. You are expected to download specific category reports and then perform the analysis over your local machine. So how we are going to do it? Manually run the command for each line, download all the files locally and delete the unnecessary files, implement the task through AWS Management Console by selecting the required files. Now tell me how you are going to do that. Use your logical sense and tell me.
Third point, Ashok.
Third, Ashok, implement the task through AWS Management Console by selecting the required files.
How you are going to do that means how you are able to say that that is the answer.
First two, it will be like it is not that workable, Ashok. Manually going through all the files for 1,000. Think so. Downloading all the files locally, then deleting. It is also tough, Ashok. Like going for each and everything.
Okay, but the third option is easy. Implement the task through the AWS Management by selecting required
Not
files.
that easy, but then we can select through console. We can see which are the files we need to that electronics. We can type that electronics dot electronics and we can display all those.
Through filter, we can.
Actually, the answer is none of the, because with all the three options, it will be hectic to do that, to work it out for that exact particular. So for this, you need a command. You need a command where you can directly use the AWS CLI. From the AWS CLI, you can do it. AWS, this management console, the management console means this is you are doing it from the here. From here, this is management console. You are doing it from here. That is a hell of a time. So for this, what we do is that we use the AWS S3, AWS CLI1, the command AWS S3, whatever we are using, CP, the copy in the file from the S3 bucket to our local folder using the recursive and including the electronics. Okay, let me write it down so that you will be able to. That is the reason I was just checking it out. Uh, it will be like this. AWS. Oh, why I can write it here itself. AWS S3 copy from the S3 bucket. What was the name? Records. What was the name?
Electronics.
The file name. So, category product ID. .csv. Oh, okay, just keep it as records only. S3 records. You are here. We have to mention the local path. Then recursive. All the files, whatever you are having. Then exclude the files that are having star something other more files, whatever means we don't want, and include. We need only the files which is having a word electronics. Electronics. This is the command where you can copy the records and you want to have only the file. Only the file. You have download the records only with the electronics category only. We expect to download specific category reports over your local machine.
Ashok, please open that CLI, Ashok. Yes, here we are copying from S3 bucket records
to the local path.
What is that local path, Ashok? CSV, that
your local machine path, whatever you want to. If you want here, you can here. You can give. You can give whom you want to directly. It will take care. All the files will be downloaded here.
Okay.
Recursive. Whatever the files you have, excluding the star, I'm just including the electronics. This is the power of AWS CLI. How exactly it manages better than the management console. Like performing this challenging tasks. I was only taking the electronics in multiple files. Means if you're having thousands of files in a single file, and in that S3 records, whatever the bucket, in that bucket, I'm just going through all the files, and in all the files, I'm just including the word electronics, and I'm just taking that files into my local machine. Any questions, guys?
We can like these commands are like we can use exclude and include directly, Ashok. Like is there any specific commands for CLI, Ashok? We can refer.
You can have your documentation. You can go AWS CLI and you will get it a lot of documents.
Okay.
You just type, because see, the golden rule, always use AWS documents. Always. See, this will give you all the details about the AWS command line interface. All the details. See here, it is directly you can with the AWS, with this command line, we can configure, we can describe the instances, we can start the instances. That much powerful is the AWS CLI. See here, it has been there. If you want to delete from my folder and recursive, whatever the files I want to just copy all the files from my folder to this my folder recursively.
Okay.
This many commands, you will get lot of commands. You can go through it. Just go through it. Means I will explain it further in the class, but I just don't want to go now itself. So I'm just giving you the basic examples. That's it. Any doubts, guys? Any questions?
Now, like from further classes, we are using CLI more, Ashok, than creating instance, copying input and starting in the terminal.
You will create the instance from there only. We will not do AWS. To create for the first time also, you need to have install AWS CLI desktop app in your local machine, and you have to do it. I am not going to do it. I am going to do it directly create from the management console in the first place. For the Docker and other things, means the Kubernetes and the command line interface, then we will be using the AWS CLI. In this further class, I will be explaining how exactly the AWS CLI comes and how exactly we can use it more. Means to describe instance. See, the simple line thing is that whatever if you want to create it here, you can do it from the directly from the AWS CLI. For that also, you need to have AWS CLI installed on your local machine. So for that, again, you have to work it out. But if you want to, with one instance, if you want to create multiple instances, multiple VPC, multiple SNS and everything, then we can use the command and interface, whatever we want to do it.
Ashok, what is the difference between recursive and force, Ashok, here? Like,
Recursive is that it's obviously you are actually going file by file. Force is that you are deleting it. Means the force we use only if you want to delete it forcefully. Means the recurse, what is exactly the recursive does? Whatever has been there, it is going one by one, one by one, one by one, one by one. All the files one by one, one by one. But force is that you are actually deleting for something. If you use force for something, right? You don't want to means some, like suppose if you want to open a box, you have to use your force to open that box. That's the reason they use force. Means if you want to delete it, because I don't care whatever may be the files inside it, if it is throwing the error also, I am forcefully removing them. So that's the reason I'm using the force. Recursive is that file by file, if you want to go through it, then it is recursive. It's simple difference.
Going file by file. Okay.
Any doubts, guys? If you don't have doubts, we will go to the load balancer. I want to complete this AWS basics today itself. I don't want to drag anymore.
Sure, Ashok. Please.
Try this command if you want. Maybe create something in your system and try if you want. Answer is none of the above, and this is the command. Load balancer. Load balancer. What exactly do you understand? What is the load balancer? Do you have any idea?
as the name indicates, it is a load balancing. Whatever the like pressure it gets from the like website, it will balance the website and it runs the website smoothly.
See, it's actually a service which uniformly distributes your traffic, internet traffic, your network traffic, whatever the traffic you are doing. Suppose if you have you have 5 instances. Okay, on the 5 instances, you are actually getting the load. On your 5 instances means suppose on the instance one. So let's take an example. Like suppose you have instance one, instance 2, instance 3. Take 3. Okay, now you have installed all Apache in all the 3 servers, and you are working on it, and the user is giving the accessing your website, and all the websites have been hosted in all these 3 servers. So every time when the user is hitting, all the day, all the flow, all the data, means all the browsing is coming to this directly to this instance one only, to the instance one only. And both the other two, instance 2 and instance 3, is just normal. They don't have more CPU utilization. They are just been there. But the server, whatever has been that internet traffic, it has been continuously coming from the instance 1, only to the instance 1. If more traffic is coming, this is not able to handle the load, because there are other two more servers where we are not actually having anything on it, any load on it. We don't have anything. So this is the picture where the load balancer comes into the picture, where when you are browsing from the internet, it will be here in front of the instances, where it uniformly distributes the load, all the traffic, to all the three servers in a same way. Means uniformly distributes all the load to all these three servers, all the three servers. Like if you go to the picture, where is it? See here, you are accessing from your computer system and it's going to the internet, and from the internet the load balancer is in front of between the servers, where it is uniformly distributing all the load. Whatever the traffic it is coming, it is distributing the load between the servers. If it is not there, if it is not present here in between, the internet will directly be hitting only one instance. It is not taking all the load for the other three servers. It will be going only for one. For with this load balancer, it is uniformly transferring the load to all the servers, where it keeps the servers health good, and you are getting the data very fastly from the servers to back to you. This is called load balancer. This way it increases the availability and fault tolerances of applications, because if you see suddenly sometimes the Google gets uh, blacked out, the YouTube gets blacked out, because sometimes the load balancers, the servers which it is having, they may be fallen down. If you don't want, and if you're typing something in it and if you're getting it very fastly, consider that they are been using the load balancers in between the servers. It is taking the load, and it is taking, means suppose if you will understand, there will be Amazon Great India Festivals, Flipkart Big Indian what is Great Indian Festival, and other Big Billion Days.
Big billion days.
So at that time, how much slower it will be there? Everyone will be using the application, right? Everyone wants to buy something. At that time, how exactly the servers will be able to handle that much load? So at that time, they will be using the load balancers. The load balancer will be there in front of all the servers. Means for every applications, whatever we are seeing, there will be a load balancer in front of them. It will be distributing the load to all the application servers. That okay, this server is having this much. Okay, if we checks that, okay, this CPU utilization of this server is this much. Okay, I will not sending the load to this. Uniformly distributes the load uniformly. If it is having 4, it will give 25, 25, 25. If it is having 5, 20, 20, 20. If it is having 10, it will give 10, 10, 10. If it is having 50, it will give 2, 2, 2, 2. If it is having 100, it will give 1, 1, 1, 1. Like that, it will handle the load. Whatever the traffic it is coming from the internet, it will distribute to the servers very uniformly. That is called load balancer. Any questions you have about this thing?
Ashok, load balance are done manually or like automatic, Ashok, through AWS?
We will create it. We create the load balancers. Means for instance, we are creating it here, but normally we are there will be having load balancers in all the machines in Azure everywhere. See, this is the load balancing load balancers.
Once we create,
We
it'll do the
No,
like
we
balancing
have
automatically.
to connect it to our security group, so that in front of the application load, means before hitting the internet, the server internet, we have to consider the fact that this will be the point where before the servers, the load should come first to the load balancer. Here, if you see, before the servers, we have kept a load balancer. So here in your server security groups, we'll be mentioning the load balancer security group in front of them, so that the server security, because here we will be in the protocols will be there, right? The inbound rules, how the traffic has to flow to the servers. What we do, we will present the load balancer security group in this servers, so that the load comes first to the load balancer, and then it will distributes the server in all the three uniformly. We will do that, no issues. Just give us some time. You'll be able to understand. Any questions on this load balancer first?
No, sure.
And the load balancer mainly works on the application layer and the network layer. Do you know what are the OSI layers? We have discussed these OSI layers in the starting of our fundamentals of networking.
Yes, Ashok.
Application layer, network layer, transport layer, physical layer. So
7 layers
here,
of model.
yes, the load balancer works exactly on these two layers. One is layer 7, that is the application layer. This application layer is called, on the layer 7 is called application load balancer. And one thing, other one is layer 4, which works between the network layer and the transport layer. This is called network load balancer. This is a load balancer thing. So there are three types of load balancer: classic load balancers, application load balancer, which works on the layer 7, network layer load balancer, which works between the network layer and the transport layer. That's actually they consider layer 4, but it works between the transfer. See, act upon data found in the network and transport layer. This is a network load balancer. So most widely everyone uses is this application load balancer. Classic load balancers only offers the basic loading functionality, basic, which if you want to use internally in your servers, we'll use classic. If you want to have, you have application, you want to work it out, you want to make the load on all the about the application to your servers, we'll be using application load balancer. Network load balancer is the used when only when there is a traffic flow, means the spike of the network is been going more, then we will use a network load balancer. How we are gonna do it, I will just go through it. I
Ashok,
think you have the
here
PPT. Yes.
they are using OSI layer or TCP/IP layer, Ashok.
Sorry.
Here they are like layer 4 and layer 7, as you said. Layer 7 comes in OSI model.
Yes, that was the reason I mentioned layer 4 and layer 7. 7 layers, right? OSI has 7 layers.
Like somewhere you have mentioned that TCP/IP is the present they are using more in the industry.
Where? See,
TCP/IP model they are using more in the industry.
these are protocols. These are IP, TCP, FTP. These are, see, internet protocol, TCP, file transfer protocol, transfer configuration protocol. These are the protocols. These are protocols. These are protocols. There is a difference. These are the layers. Means if we are using, see, in the TCP also you will be having a network layer, right? It is not like that
Yes.
you don't have the network layer. So still it works on the network load balancer. In that TCP portal you have the application layer, so it is also the application load balancer. It doesn't mean that I'm saying about the basic OSI layer structure. That was the reason I mentioned OSI model. The OSI model, we consider the OSI model. So he actually works on these things.
Yashwant, user system establishes connection to the network through the OSI model. All the 7 layers will be followed to establish connection between the system and network. Those are the protocols: IP, Internet Protocol, TCP, FTP. They are all protocols, Yashwant.
Yes, Puneet.
Okay, let me terminate this instance. Let me create a new one. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to create an instance. Today we'll be seeing for the first time, we'll be creating 3 instances in a single go. I will be mentioning as a web server. Let me take the Amazon Linux only. No issues, that's fine. T2 micro for US East. It will be the same VPC. Let's select a same existing group, or maybe you can create a different one. But I think I already have. Okay, create a different. Select a new one only. SSH traffic. You can give it from the my IP. I would always prefer go to my IP, but here mine is a computer company's laptop, so I will not be able to access it from my IP. So that's the reason I'm giving anywhere from 0, 0 every time. So I'll take it from the any 0, 0 and allow HTTP traffic from the internet. Why I'm doing it, I will let you know. And I want the instances to be 3. Now, before starting the service, before starting the servers in the bash, in the bootstrap, I want to install directly in the server something. If you guys able to read it. If you able to understand, I'm directly running in the bootstrap. I'm installing the HTTP, and after that I am enabling it HTTP. I'm starting the HTTP service, and after that from the HTML file, I'm actually running a command, and I am running it in the index.html file. With this way, if I launch that instance, automatically I will be able to check what exactly has been there. Means if I open the public IPv4 address, I will be able to see this line. Hello from your first lab web server. Let me see. Okay, now if you see, now let me change the web server 1.
Ashok, at a time, how many instances we can create, Ashok?
I think 10. At a time you can go for 10. As I know. See, I have created 3 instances in a single go. Okay. Now, if I go to the instance and see the security group, I just want to check it out before itself. Okay, the TCP is load. If I open this and open this here, you would be able to see DNS error. Why it is coming DSN and DNS error? Oh, sorry, I have to log in. I have to launch the instance first. So that
For all the 3 instances, we will be having same IP address, Ashok.
No, it will be different IP address. Why it will be giving the same? I already told you the IP address is a unique.
Once we log into the EC2, and we need to log in for the same through web server 2 and 3 as well, right?
See, if you go through here, see, this is a different public IP address. See the public IP 44.211.132.2.7. If you see this here, 54.224.242.92, and if you see this here, what is the public address? These are different public addresses. If I take, I'm just launching one to just make sure that I'm using it, so that what I want to show you, so that it works out, because I'm creating a load balancer in between. I just want to log in and I want to show you something. That's it.
Okay.
Now, if I click on the same, see, I have launched the instance. So that was in the bootstrap. And when I was launching it, it automatically considering the fact that, okay, this has to work it out. Just a minute, guys. So this is the way actually we are actually done it. Now, I am actually working on this. I don't know how exactly the files, how exactly the application, the server is working out. So what I will do is that I will create a load balancer. I will keep in front of this instances, because all these 3 security groups have the same security group. If you see here, it will be having the same security group for all the instances, same security group. That was the reason. Launch wizard 4. Launch wizard 4. Launch wizard 4, because we have taken the same security group. That was the reason I have created instance in a single go. I'm going to create a load balancer. See, this gateway load balancer is a new gateway load balancer. If you want, you can read about this. But here is the both application load balancer and the network load balancer. We will be creating the load balancer of the application. we'll be giving ALB. What do you want? We want to have internal facing or internal. We want to have internet facing load balancer because the internet takes the load from our application. The before going to the servers, it will be taking the load, and so that we will be giving internet facing. It will be IPv4 and the default VPC. And in which regions you want, in all the on all the subnets, whatever the viability regions you are having, if you want to give in all the regions, then you can select all the things or maybe only one. It's up to you. You can select US East A, use 1B, 1C. You can select anything. In all the availability zones, if you want to this one, you can create it. And I want to have a new security group. I don't want to have a default one. So the application load balancer, what will be the name? ALBSG. Do it. This is available. The inbound rule. It has to take the traffic. It has to take the traffic. It has to take the traffic from
My
all the traffic from the inbound rules. It has to take the traffic from all the inbound rules, and along with it, it is taking all the traffic. Now I have created a security group. Uh, it has to take all the security, all the load from here. Okay, now if you see here, it will be showing this security group. Now the security group is there. So before means how exactly the load has to be taken. It has to take from the HTTP 80 port, or it has to take on the port 80 from our servers. It has to take the load on the port 80. And we have to select a target group. What is the target group? This target groups uniforms. This target groups provides the in the load balancer how exactly you have to send the traffic to the servers. This is the main thing. Means if the target groups are not there, the load balancer will not be able to send it to the instances. Here, if you select instances, it will be sending it to the instances which we are created. If we are selling IP addresses, it will be select based on the IP addresses. Whatever IP addresses we are giving, it will be providing to there. And the Lambda function. And again, you can select an application load balancer to another application load balancer, but we are working on the instances today. So we will be taking instance, so that it will, what are the instances we are created, it will take it out. What should be the name? ALB target group. What is the protocol? It should be TCP port 80 and the default VPC. Health check protocol, the TCP portal. Now here, this is advanced settings. Why I'm telling you this is that this is a healthy threshold value 5, unhealthy threshold 2, timeout 10, interval 30. So what exactly this means is that if you know the, where is this? The 7 days. Why there is no 200 here? Okay, the thing is that here, what exactly the 5 is that for if you know the APIs, means the post values, where the 200 means success in the internet, in the network area, means 200 is a success. So if I am getting the 200 every time when I'm hitting the application from the application load balance to the server, every time I'm getting the value 200 for continuously 5 times, then I'm considering that the server is perfectly up and it is working up. If in the first 2 times, means in the 5 instances, when the 5 times I'm hitting this 2 times, I'm getting a failure other than 200 and value is getting out. So then I'm considering it that the server is not good. It is unhealthy. It is not able to take the load. Timeout, how much time? I'm taking the time period consideration of 10 seconds. And every time, every 30 seconds of the interval, you have the application load balancer will hit the servers to get the load, to manage the traffic. This is called unhealthy, means health check protocols. These are the advanced health check settings. We will be talking a lot when we talk about the cloud watch and everything, because we will be working on the threshold, how exactly we'll look into it. So next, now see, it is automatically when I've selected instances, it is just taking in all the instances which have been present in my account. I have selected all. Port for selecting is 80. Now, where is the target group? I have given the target group, right? Just a minute, just a minute, just a minute. Oh, I'm creating the target group, sorry.
Ashok, I didn't get the point. 80, Ashok, 80, port 80.
Port 80 is the one where you actually diverge your traffic, all the traffic, whatever you are having, whatever the traffic you are actually hit on your servers, that will be port 80, HTTP port. You have to mention HTTP, HTTPS, means the HTTP will always hit the server on the port 80. HTTP will always hit on the server port 80. If you go, why this long not coming here? If I tell HTTP, just HTTP, see here, this is a hypertext transfer protocol. Have you listened the class on the HTTP and HTTPS?
HTTP, yes, is secured connection.
No,
Ashok.
no. Have you learned? Have you been in the class on the HTTP and HTTPS?
Yes, Ashok.
Yes.
You are there. So here, if HTTP always uses which port? Why it is uses? See, always means the HTTP always goes to the port 80. The HTTPS always goes to the port 443. This is a basic networking, means if everything, everyone, whenever we are using any instance, in that instance, it always uses the port 80 for trafficking the data, and HTTPS always uses 443 because the HTTP is a secure, so it goes for the port 443. Just read it out about the port 80 and port 443. This is a basic common where the port 80 by default goes to the HTTP portal. Port 80, just if you check it out, it is a basic, because this has been mentioned by the network people when they worked on it. They mentioned that the HTTP connection should always go through the port 80 by default. So that's the reason we are actually taking the port 80 here. Any questions, guys? Any questions, guys?
No, Ashok, carry on, Ashok.
I have created a target group and I have mentioned the ALB target group here. Now I am creating the load balancer. I would say to you that once you do the load balancer, don't don't keep it a long time, because the load balancer is I would say not what to mention to you. It's actually a billable thing, so don't keep it a lot. Just check it out your work and close it. See, now I have provided the load balancer. Now here in my instances security group, I have to mention the this security group here. Here I have to mention the traffic, inbound traffic for this port from not the custom. I have to mention my ALB target group, so that you may not specify any reference group ID for an existing IPv4 CID rule. Why should I know? Just a minute, guys. Just a minute. Why this error is coming? It should not come. Because on the security portal inbound rules, I'm just giving the port 80 so that it takes the traffic from the port 80 and it works out. IPv4 CIDR will not specify reference group ID for an existing IPv4 CIDR rule. What is the IPv4 CIDR I have given here? Just one guys, just give me 2 minutes. Hello TG, group level is sick, that's fine, this is the listener. I'm taking the IPv4. Let me give all traffic. Oh, come on, every time this error is coming. I'm giving traffic as 80, HTTP portal TCP 80 custom value. I'm giving my IP. So it takes the rules. Now when I'm going forward and I'm just making sure that this is the, I'm saving the rules and I'm going to the application load balancer and I'm changing the backend server details. So why it is not? Security groups on the custom TCP port 80. I'm just changing the custom value to this one. So this has to work it out. ALB load balancer. Why this is not considering the fact that this time it is. Let me see. Changes. Now, if you see on the load balancer, let me see the listeners whether it has been kept up or not. We go to the target load balancer and now I have added all the 3 load balancer instances. Now, if you see the health state is initial, it will go to active. Just give us some time. Okay, now if you see all the status are healthy. Now, if I click on the same thing, if I am able to access this, if I click on this, it will not work out. See, it will throw me the error. It will show me because here the instances has been done. The instances, it is only one. Here the instances which are all running, the instances which are all running, they are all being targeted to the load balancer. So if I go to the load balancer, this will be the DNS name, where with this one I will be able to see the line which I actually written there. See, I have traffic, but for see from the instance when I'm hitting it, it is throwing me the error. But from the load balancer, now the traffic has been diverged to the load balancer. Now the load balancer is taking the traffic. It is managing how exactly the load has to be transferred to which one is actually mentioned. This is a load balancer, application load balancer. If you see here, the listeners have been working, and in the target group, we have added our instances, and it is showing all the instances are healthy. If you add more load on all these, it will be showing. If it is unhealthy, it will be showing the status as unhealthy. The monitoring, how exactly these systems are there. See, unhealthy host, healthy host. This will be the cloud watch, how exactly these are all working. It will be showing here. The health checks, how exactly, see here the success code is 200 for every interval of 30 seconds, means every time the load balancer will be hitting the HTTP portal consecutively. If it is 5 times, it considered it as healthy. In the 2 times it failures, it says that okay, it is unhealthy. The timeout is 5 seconds. The interval, every interval of 30 seconds. Any doubts on this thing?
Ashok, can we add still more instances to the already running load balancer, Ashok?
Yes, we can do that. Here in the targets, right? Here, if you see register targets, if you have more instances, it will come here. You can just add it and you can just include as pending below. Then it will come here, review targets, and just register pending target. Then it will take care of it.
Ashok, we will be fixing here the like number of users might come, right, Ashok?
For that, we will be using other thing. For that, we will be using auto scaling that I will explain after this class, just now itself.
For suppose the unexpected traffic is more, Ashok, what we will do here, Ashok?
So that is the reason we are going to use auto scaling groups.
Okay.
That was the reason I'm saying. See here, the public IPv4 address may change. For this application load balancer, the DNS name will be the same thing. It will not get changed. This value will not get changed because here you will not be able to see the public IPv4 address of the instances. With this DNS name only, you will be able to hit the internet like this. We don't know from which server it's actually we are getting this hello from our first lab server. We don't know, but with this we'll be able to check it out. With this we'll be able to see the load. It is been gone to some server and it is taking the data. Any questions, guys? And I would say to delete it once it is done. Don't take time. Don't make it time because I will be creating a just. If you don't have any questions, we'll go further. This is about load balancers. And in going forward classes, we will be creating an application load balancer, a network load balancer. We will be working on it. You will be having the time, no issues. Answer the question. Load balancers provided. I just answered it. I just told it.
Static DNS name we can use in our application.
Yes, if it will, the DNS name will not change for the application load balancer. It will be using the same DNS name only. Any questions, guys?
No, sure. Continue.
No, sure.
See, auto scaling. What is exactly a scaling? Suppose a scaling is the one where we add or remove the requirements, resources or anything as per our requirements. Means suppose now if you have now I'm gonna just create a graph. I just want to show you something. Suppose we have a traffic. The traffic is going like this, and like this. Now, right now you have one instance where the load is here. Means you have kept one instance where you can the instance can handle up to this load, and you have kept 10 instances for this load. Means you have application load balancer where you have kept the instances up to 10. Means you predicted it that okay, once in big billion instance the sale is going on, you said that okay, I have 10 more instances. If the traffic goes, mean the CPU utilization goes to 95%, so here you can have these instances. But the traffic gone to here means it has been reached to the point where it is having up to here. Now you don't, now to handle this traffic, the 10 servers is not enough. The 10 servers are not able to handle this much load. Now the application may crash at any time because the server is not able to, the 10 servers are not able to handle this much load. At that time, you don't have time to go manually and add each one because you are not able to predict this load. You are not able to predict because you predicted just for 10, but this much load you are not able to predict. This is the time where we use the auto scaling, where automatically if the load means if you are predicting that if the server, each server goes to 50%, add create more servers, means this will automatically the AWS using the auto scaling will create the servers for you to handle this load. Automatically it will create this servers for you to create this load, to create this exactly the load and everything. This will be created by AWS by using the auto scaling group. This is called auto scaling, where you are actually adding or removing the resources without any manual intervention. It is doing it automatically because it is predicted. You have kept a rule that if the load is means if the CPU utilization is this much, create more servers so that it will take care of the load when the application is going on. Like the big billion days Great Indian Festival, how they are able to handle that load. They will be creating an auto scaling group where they will be taking care of it. Means once the instances are not able to take the load, then automatically the auto scaling takes care of it and it will create more instances to handle that load. Any questions you have? I will be explaining that, but still I'm asking you any questions you have.
No,
No,
sure.
sure.
Now, if you go through it, there are two types of auto scaling groups. One is a vertical scaling and other one is a horizontal scaling. What's the main difference is that the vertical scaling means the vertical scaling is that you will be the instances which you're already having. I mean, suppose this is a T2 micro, the instances which are already having the vertical scaling, they will be able to change the configurations. Means the T2 micro will be made to T2 large. The CPU memory is for only 6 GB. Means they will be increasing the RAM to 8 GB. The configuration of the instances where you change it is called vertical scaling. This is called vertical scaling. The horizontal scaling is that here you have 4 instances of T2 micro. The horizontal scaling, what it will do is that it will create the same 4 instances of T2 micro again. It will not change the configurations of the instances. It will create new instances where it will be able to handle the load. This is the main difference between the vertical scaling and horizontal scaling. AWS gives you the horizontal scaling service. AWS gives only horizontal scaling. It will not give vertical scaling. It gives horizontal scaling. Where if you are having a T2 micro here and you are having 4 instances and you have kept that, okay, now the load is getting high. I want to increase my servers. So automatically it will create the same T2 micro instances, another 4 for you to handle the load. And if it is T2 large, it will create T2 large. The same RAM, everything will be created, same basically taking an example of this instance and it will be creating more. Any questions, guys?
AWS uses only horizontal scaling, Ashok.
Yes, AWS gives you a horizontal scaling. Horizontal scaling. As I said here, if you are having this much load, it will automatically gives you another 10 more servers. If you kept how many servers you need, that many servers it will prove it to you.
Okay.
So here to launch an auto scaling group, we have to create a launch template first. This is the launch template where if you create it, it will take care of the auto scaling group. It will mention how many instances we need to be created, how many instances we need to be taken care, how many instances, see, auto scaling guidelines. Here the software is which instance AMI. See, this is the AMI we are actually will be talking about. I want to create Linux, this one, Amazon Linux, same machine, another 5 more machines. I'm gonna use AS auto scaling group templates watching segment in ASC. the template tags. Actually, before this, they used to have the launch configuration also. See, if I mention the AMI, automatically it takes the Amazon Linux. I mean, see, here it is being used. Automatically is taking the Amazon Linux AMI too. If I don't want to include in launch template, I would be if I want to use different AMI, I would be mentioning. See this many. If I mention Mac OS, it will be having a different AMI. Ubuntu, different AMI. Windows, different AMI. Change. You will see different AMI. But I want to use Amazon Linux AMI. The one which I have created means a T2 micro. I want to take a T2 micro one. So then I need to use this one. For T2 micro, this is the one. If I want to change from T2 micro to different one, see, these are all the things it will automatically gets changed. So I'm gonna take T2 micro here, and here you have to don't include in launch template means what exactly it is. It is here we are taking T2 micro because here it is been making the instance type as T2 micro, the instance type, and the key pair login, the same key pair login which you are using. You can create a new security group. No, if I create this launch template, after this I'm going to delete it. I'm saying you guys, please, once you are done it, please delete it. The auto scaling is free, but whatever you are going to use about this auto scaling, the instances which it creates, they are billable. Now, if we go to the auto scaling group, where is this auto scaling group? Here. See here, if you are going to launch configurations or auto scaling groups, here it will be taking the template. So here it will take this template. AC. Now it will be asking me what will be the availability zones and everything. I'm just going to select one. You can select multiple also, it's up to you. Now see, it is asking whether if you want to add a load balancer to it or if you want to go directly to the servers. Means if the load balancer means if you are adding to a load balancer, how exactly you are going to define. Means if it is just load balancer, you don't want to add the servers, you just keep a load balancer. So it will take care, it will be taking care of it. How exactly the load has to be transferred means, yeah, in a single load balancer not able to handle double load balancer, and from that again to our more servers which it has been connected. That way it is going to add it. If you don't want, just we don't want any load balancer, so no load balancer. And that health check options, elastic load balancer is not there, so EC2 we are working in on it. And these are group met with the CloudWatch. So if you want to click, you can how exactly it is working out, how the CPU utilization is going on. Now here, see the desired capacity. This is the one. Means when the auto scaling group is there, means I want to keep one machine running at every time. How much maximum capacity I can go? I can go means up to this much capacity. Means if I'm able to, here I am. Where is it? Here I have said I have given only, here I was able to give only one machine. Means on go once the instances means the load is very high. I'm giving a target of 15 means automatically I've given 15 machines. Automatically the 15 will be taking care of it. Means the 15 machines will go up to 15 machines. Means here up to one the machines will be there. Here the load is able to handle. But if the load goes high, go up to 15 instances, create up to 15 instances. Otherwise no need of it, only keep only one instance. If the load is not there, automatically the load balancer will delete all these instances and it will keep only one. That was the reason it has been given one minimum capacity. If I give here two, here the minimum machines it will be running every time when the application is running, it will be two. If it is I've given three, if it is, but the maximum capacity should always be more than the minimum capacity. The maximum capacity should always be more than the minimum capacity. If I'm giving here 5, if the minimum capacity is 3, automatically the instance will always create 3 machines online every time. It will keep the machines online for 3 machines in a single go. Means it will always keep all 3 machines in a go, and it will go up to maximum 5 machines. And the target tracking scale policy is that how exactly you are tracking it. Means with whom. If the CPU utilization is high, you want to track, and if you want to increase the instance. Otherwise, if you don't want, automatically how you are going to resize. Means how you actually resizing the machine, whether based on the CPU utilization or maybe on the network bytes or maybe on the application load balance request per count. This is the average CPU utilization. This is the notifications on the auto scaling, whether means based on the cloud matrix cloud watch, it will be working on it. The tags. Now if you see automatically let me in the meanwhile go to EC2 instances. I will show you. See guys, here exactly the 3 machines are there right now. The 3 machines are running. Okay, now if I start this, automatically there will be a new instance will be created. Just check it out. And I'm telling you guys, please delete once you done your work. This is not free. Now version default. Now see here, it will be creating a new machine. See, automatically it created it. It has taken a rule that one machine will always be there. One machine default. Are you guys able to get it?
Yes, Ashok. Yes, Ashok.
See, it's automatically. If I yes.
Minimum 3 now.
No, I just kept only one because again I have to delete it, right?
Okay, okay.
For yeah, you can modify it if you want. If you can just go on the edit, you can keep the minimum capacity as 2. You can keep like that. But if you keep the minimum capacity, the desired capacity should always be in the 2. Means it should be equal to the same thing, right? Because here, if you remove it, automatically it considers that okay, you have kept the desired capacity as 1, but the minimum capacity is 2. So this contradicts a minimum. Means it will say that okay, the one machine is also it works out. So if you keep 2, it has to be 2. Let me update it. So it will create it again. See now, if I see again, it will create another machine. See, are you seeing it right? Now, in the meanwhile, if I terminate this instance, see, automatically it will create a new instance. Automatically, I'm not doing anything. Once this shutdowns, automatically these things. See, if you go to the monitoring, see, automatically it will create another. Once it's totally see, it already started. I have not done. I haven't created anything. See, I have shutted it down. Automatically, the instance is creating. This is the auto scaling group where it will be able to create machines automatically it sees that load is not there, and if one is an unhealthy, means one server is not able to take the load unhealthy, it will create another one also based on the load balancer also, if we add it in the auto scaling group. This is the way it actually works out. Any questions you have?
We need to terminate the auto scaling, Ashok.
Yes, you have to. Otherwise, it will always be creating the two instances every time when you keep it.
Okay.
If I don't terminate it, obviously it will be creating all the instances again and again and again.
Got it, Ashok.
I have to wait until it gets deleted. Otherwise,
So the difference between auto scaling and load balancing is that if any unexpected traffic occurs, we use auto scaling, and in the normal circumstances, we use load balancing. Is it, Ashok?
load balancer is to uniformly distribute the traffic, Puneet. Load
Okay.
balancer is uniformly distribute the traffic between the servers. Auto scaling is that if you have an unexpected traffic, you don't know how much traffic you will be coming on a big billion days or great Indian festival. At that time, you are not able to predict. So that's the reason we actually use the auto scaling group, so that you don't have to manually go and create the instances. Automatically, it will take care. If the limit is less, if the load is going more, it will automatically see based on CPU utilization, and it will create the instances automatically.
Yes, Ashok. Clear, clear, Ashok.
I'm going to terminate this instance too, because I've created so many things today. I don't know how much bill it will come for me. I have to delete the load balancer also. This is about the load balancer or auto scaling. If you have any questions, let me know. I would be very happy to answer. And after this, I'm just gonna tell one more thing.
Ashok, once we delete auto scaling, that will not delete the thing it is created automatically, Ashok, like instance.
No, it will not. It will not.
We'll need to terminate the instance manually from our side.
Yes, we have to, because see, we are deleting it, but the instance is already created. So now it doesn't have, because we are deleting the auto scaling group, it doesn't have anything with the instances. That's because it is been already on your machines. It has been with you. It doesn't have any import, because you are already deleted the auto scaling. So it will not take care of it, deleting. After that, if the work is done, after the every work has been done, you can just make sure that the instances which you are having, you can just delete it. You have to make sure that here the listener has to be deleted first.
Ashok, one doubt. It is not from this today's concept, but when we created the PEM file, we used to convert it into PPK. We need to convert it into PEM file. Is it not, Ashok? That day.
Yes, we have converted a PPK file. Yes.
So in Putty we were doing that, but if we use GitHub, we don't have to convert it, Ashok.
GitHub, why you will use it? Because GitHub is totally different one, right? GitHub is not actually related to AWS at all.
But
GitHub
it
is
is similar
just
to Putty terminal, no, Ashok.
no,
No,
I think
actually, I was watching it in an YouTube video. So the instructor was telling that in Putty we need to convert the PPK file to PEM file, and then we need to using Puttygen. But in if we use GitHub, it is not necessary. We can automatically use it. It gets converted automatically. So I just asked.
who is this YouTuber? I'm not able to understand what exactly you was saying. Means you are saying that you for GitHub, means see, for AWS instances, whatever you are created, whatever you have done, you need the PEM file, PPK file to log in into that instance, because it's a secret key which it will make sure that it will be logging. For GitHub is, as I said, you know the difference between Git and GitHub, right?
Yes, Ashok.
So here, Git is actually version control. Means whatever we are doing it, whatever we are working with it is a Git version. GitHub is actually a cloud machine. Means you will not be able to work it out here. If you will be keeping the code or maybe the source management, whatever the source code you have, you are keeping it in the GitHub. So for that GitHub, why you need a PEM file and PPK file? Forward, just you do one thing. Whatever the YouTube video was, just give it to me. Maybe just forward it on the WhatsApp. I will look into it. I will answer your question.
Okay, sure.
Here the point is, Ashok, like while PEM file, we are converting like PPK to PEM.
Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
Like, initially, we are like creating that instances, right?
Yes.
The point here is like from GitHub account, whatever the PEM file we have in that, we can directly load into our instance while running in the instance.
Yes, you can do that, right? Because that's a PEM file. That's the point, right? Here also, when we are SSHing into other machine, what we have done? When we are SSHing into, we have used the Bastion host, right? When we use the private subnet, what we have done? We have taken that PEM key and we have loaded it on our instance, kept a name as some name, and we have kept that key. And then we using that key, we have connected to other instance, right? We have done that only, right? You guys remember it, go through the video again in the private instance. I'm telling you, because from that PEM file only, we have taken that key value, we have kept it on our local instance, and with that PEM file, using that PEM file, we have gone to the other EC2 machine, we have connected to the private instance. That was the reason, because that was the reason the PEM file is needed. So if the PEM file is already in the GitHub, just you are going to take that same PEM file and you're going to use it in the instance also. It's the same thing. Even if you loaded on your local machine, or maybe you are kept on the GitHub, everywhere it's the same thing. But if the key, if you are using the same key pair for that instance on the key which has been present on the GitHub, if it is the same key pair, then you are going to use that same PEM file only. If it is not, then there is no point of taking that PEM file or maybe using it. Are you guys able to get it or not? You guys didn't got it. I'm able to understand with your silence only. Guys, if you didn't got it, just let me know. If you want, I can answer it again also.
No, Ashok, like it is not with GitHub, Ashok. In the AWS, we converted that PEM file, no, Ashok, using Puttigen.
Yes.
My question was, if we use GitHub terminal, we don't have to convert that through Puttigen, no, Ashok. We can directly use the PEM file. I got it through a video, Ashok.
I'm not able to get your question, Puneet, first of all, because what's the PEM file doing with the GitHub? I'm not able to understand that thing at all. Just forward me the video. I will answer your question tomorrow itself.
Okay, Ashok. Okay, sure.
And the last thing, okay, here. Okay, imagine a web application needs 20 servers and all these servers are configured under an automatic scaling group service. What happens if one of these service fails to terminate at any point in time? What happens?
A new instance gets created, Ashok.
What about you, Puneet?
Yes, a new instance get created.
Yes, we have seen just now when I have deleted an instance, automatically it is creating a new instance. That is the auto scaling group. It makes it. Now, the last and final topic is that right sizing of infrastructure. What is the right sizing of infrastructure? Suppose you have taken application, you are working on it. See, without a proper understanding of what exact instance types you needed, what type of a instance type means T2 micro, T2 large, because if you go to the large instance, there may be the instance types are many types, and what type of a OS you needed exactly, and after that, what type of a machine, what type of an instance type like T2 micro. See, if you see, there are many configurations of it. See, A1X large, DB1 large, T3X large, T3 medium, T3 micro, T2 X large. This is the instance type. If you are not able to get the perfect instance type, means if you are not able to select the perfect instance type and size to your application at the least possible cost, if you are not doing it, you are not actually doing the right sizing of your infrastructure. You should always go through the process of finding the right sizing. Is always the process to find the perfect instance type and the size to your application with the least possible cost. This is a way to analyze what exactly the instances and to opportunities, how exactly that means if you are selecting how many instances you needed, what are the opportunities to downsize, how much if you are taking the on-spot instances, on-demand instances, how much performance it will hit if you are taking these instances. Will it be able to handle much load, or maybe for the new requirements when I'm going further, will it be able to take care of it or not? This is actually the right sizing, because this is the way where it keeps the organization's cost on your instances. This is the way where you exactly work it out. This is the way the DevOps comes. Means if you becomes more into your career, this is the way you have to organize. You have to tell your organization, see, you have to be right size your infrastructure. Suppose now how you gonna save the cost for your organization? Suppose there is an Indian website where it is for only particular region, only that particular region it is working perfectly. And if you see that in the night time, means the main load you are seeing for the right side of infrastructure. Now suppose if it is working from morning 8 to night 12 o'clock, after that you are seeing there is no load after 12 o'clock to the early morning 7. So that way, at that time, you can obviously close the instances. You can stop the instances and make sure it comes after 7 o'clock. That way, you are saving the time period cost of your company's organization 6 hours. You are almost saving a monthly more than $1,000, $5,000, $10,000. You have to right size, means you have to be make sure how exactly you're going to take the infrastructure, how exactly the application workload performances based on the requirement, and you have to bring the profits to your organization by selecting the right sizing of that infrastructure. This is totally about right sizing. So how exactly you want to do it, how exactly you're going to select the size based on the performance usage, as I said, turning off the idle instances, selecting the right instance family, T3 micro, what exactly you need, or maybe on which OS instances. And the database, means the database is a very vast concept. So, but if you want to have select which kind of database you needed, that database. And for the tools to actually right sizing, these are the tools: CloudWatch, Cost Explorer, Trusted Advisor. You can just go through it. It's just a normal basic examples, means definitions, how exactly it observes the CPU utilization. The CloudWatch means what exactly it does is that it actually sends the alarms and everything based on your CPU utilization, and based on that you can get the cheaper instance type or maybe the higher instance type. The Cost Explorer is that you actually helps us. This tool helps us to deep dive into the cost and usage data. You can take this, means based on the over the last 13 months, how exactly which instances has been used, how much cost, and analyze. And the Trusted Advisor is that to inspect your AWS environment, to identify the idle and underutilized resources, means some resources will are there, some instances are there which are not being used at all, but still they are running. So to keep your usage in a particular performance and improve your system performance, and to help the security and optimize the cost. These are all the tools to actually for the right sizing. This is the basic of AWS. We are just got into AWS. From here, actually the tools which we are going to use, which we are going to work on your domain, on your future, will be starting from tomorrow. This is just started AWS. After this, we are going to talk about Docker, Terraform, Ansible, Kubernetes, CI/CD pipelines, Jenkins, the continuous integration, deployment, how exactly the monitoring tools, Prometheus, Nagios. This is the way we are going to talk about more. Any questions you have? I don't actually, I didn't keep the quiz this time. Maybe I will add and say I will send it to you. Any questions, guys?
Like till now it
Tomorrow,
was completely basics, Ashok. From tomorrow, like actual Dockers, when you start with Dockers, actual things will
Yeah,
start.
I'm gonna start Docker. See, this AWS is the one. If you see, there are DevOps engineers only works on AWS, only on AWS. They have here, they have ECS, they have electronic clustering service, they have EKS. This is Elastic Container Service. There is EKS, Elastic Kubernetes Service. There is a CloudWatch. See here, the AWS itself has all the things. As I said, they have 200 plus services here itself. But compared to this, what the other service, the ECS is the same as Docker only. How exactly the containers can be run. The EKS is mainly same as that. How exactly you're going to run the clusters. How you going to run on the Kubernetes. This same as the Kubernetes service only. But still, you want to have more because the system, the companies are using the Docker more, and they know that these are very useful tools and they are open source tools. So they are use those tools. These is the basic how exactly the AWS main tools which we use when we need it as DevOps engineers. The security groups, elastic IPs, the load balancer, the target groups, the auto scaling, the EC2 instances, the VPC, the subnets, the CloudWatch, and the CloudFront. Going forward, we will be talking about it.
Ishwant, what? Sorry, Ashok. What is SDK, Ashok? I
Software development kit.
Software development. Okay, where do we use it, Ashok?
Where did
In
you got
demo?
it? SDK actually.
Okay,
Where do you got the SDK?
like in the video I saw it, Ashok.
SDK software development kit means if you type, if you can understand it, here it is. Whatever the means tools and the software you want to use that particular software. So for that they use the tool name as SDK. This is it. Any questions, guys?
Ashok, like Dockers, like similarly, like what are the users that we access through Dockers? We have that in AWS also, Ashok. The
Yeah,
same service.
the ECS will be used for that one only, same thing. But we will be using Docker a lot because that is easy and very easy to use. Here you have to come and you have to create. There, if you install the Docker on your EC2 instance, and you can start going for further and further and further and further.
Okay.
We'll be talking it tomorrow, no issues. Any more questions?
Ashok, tomorrow we're gonna start with
Docker.
Docker, Ashok.
Yes. If you want to go through it, go type containerization in YouTube. You will get you able to understand what exactly I will be talking about. Containerization.
Ashok, can we start this Docker from Monday, Ashok?
Why?
Like we are going through all this, Ashok. There are a lot of concepts I need to understand. Like I'm noting down all those notes. Like parallel, I need to run this project and that to WordPress. Within 3 days, I can cope up with those things, and I'll like I can understand a few more things betterly.
Okay. What about you, Punit?
Yeah, Ashok, because we need to like watch today's video also and go through the PPTs as well. Go through
A lot of
YouTube.
things to understand, Ashok. Like while I was going
See,
through
as I
yesterday,
said before also, see, actually, the DevOps normally takes minimum 6 months or 7 months time period. Normally, means if you want to learn each tool and if you want to practice and if you want to do it, it's normally takes more than 6 months. Frankly speaking, because when I have done my DevOps, I took more than a year because I was actually a basic learner where I didn't know the coding part also. So it took me for a year. But the thing is that here now all are in the fast track courses where they want to complete it, because for me the classes were only on the weekends, not on the weekdays. I used to have only classes on the weekends. I used to complete them and I used to work it out. And I used to work the weekend class. After the weekend class, I have to learn the club whatever I have been taught on that class on the whole week. I have to practice that. But here for you people, how exactly it has been planned was that in a 2 weeks, in 2 months, actually, I'm thinking it takes more than 2 months for me, because the way the speed I'm going, I'm seeing that it is not possible me to complete in 2 months, because I'm explaining the things and going this rapid way. It may take in March also, means up to another 10 more days extra. But if you guys want to learn, as I said, you have to practice every day and you want to learn. So if you want to take a gap, then I would prefer talk with Dinesh sir once, check
Not
with him.
gap, Ashok. Here,
No,
there
no,
is
no.
no
See,
need
the
to.
thing is that if I am taking again Docker, after Docker, I will be talking other tool. For that, again, Docker, I am going to give another assignment for you. So you're going to say another 1 more, 2 more days
No, no,
gap
no,
in
no,
between.
no, not that, Ashok. Till date, whatever has said and done, like a lot of concepts are there. While I was running the video, I got few things. Like while I was noting down, like I can't cope up with both the things. If I get 2 days of time, we'll cope up with till Docker. When you start, right, we will be
Sure,
back
that's
of you.
fine. Okay, that's fine. You can take 2 more days. On Sunday we will connect. We will do the assignment. Means you gonna do it, and I'm gonna just watch it, and I'm gonna help with you. So that's fine. On Monday I will start the Docker thing. That's fine. If
Then,
you have
then,
any
then,
questions in between, you can ask me. But I'm saying, guys, you have to give your 2 months fully. Means
yes, Ashok.
consider up to March. You have to strive a lot so that you can work it out.
Definitely, Ashok.
So
Yes,
that way it
Ashok.
work out for you only.
Yes, Ashok. Like while I was going through like one in an IAM, there are a lot of concepts to understand. Like in particular,
Yeah, because
while
the IAM is the one where the roles based on that, if you want to stop your services, means as I said, if it's an organization, if it is an organizational account, they will be creating the IAM roles, and they will be giving the IAM roles to some particular users. Like if you create the IAM in that user, they will giving the access to that particular users, so that whenever they want to log in, they will be having only restricted access in that particular AWS account. So that way they work it out. So there is a lot of concepts. As I said, only AWS will take a lot of time. If you still just only on AWS, if you work, it will be a very challenging, because there are more services, more and more services, where you will be just knowing that. But all the IT companies will not use all the services. So they use what we exactly you've been using. We are teaching nothing more, like EC2, VPC, subnets, route table, Route 53, S3, RDS, CloudWatch, CloudFront. These are all the things we will be teaching a lot. EKS, ECS. Okay, guys, that's fine.